can see my screen. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So Scrum 2020 updates, and guys, so this around 25 years of Scrum on 18 November, and since the launch of the Scrum Guide, I think in early 90s in 1993, and then Scrum creator Mr. Ken and Jeff, who actually introduced the Scrum, and they started the Scrum practices and everything in their company, and then from there onward they started lines and defined some certain guidelines over there, and now it's today. I mean, not today. 18 November was the 25 years they completed. So that's why happy birthday Scrum for completing 25 years in the industry. So these are the two people, Jeff and Ken, and they actually defined that the Scrum. And let's start now. So a couple of things, guys, they have actually done. And I prepared around 10 to 11 different points from the presentation, from their conference happened around more than 10,000 people actually registered for that particular conference. And then it was really great conference online. And a lot of things I got to know. I prepared my notes also. You can see over here that I prepared a lot of notes from that particular conference, from that particular video. Actually, it's available on YouTube. I'll share the link later. So in 2017, the last update happened and it was having around 19 pages, but now it very much shrink to only 13 pages. So that's why we say that the first important change is that less prescriptive, remove most of the complex things, because what exactly these people were doing, that they were adding a lot of guidelines and complex terms and terminologies, guidelines, and they were keep adding over there. So that was like more and more prescriptive they were defining, and that's why like a lot of confusion. So in this recent update, it is less prescriptive, and almost most of the things they have removed in terms of unnecessary complex things, unnecessary guidelines and everything they have removed. And then that's very simple, very straightforward, very simple document. You can easily go through it and then understand that. Now we have more rooms to explore. You can do experiments, you can do your incremental changes, iterations, and a lot of practices according to your Scrum team you can define over there according to the guidelines defined in these 13 pages. I'll share the link also. I have already downloaded that particular PDF for 13 pages. I'll share the link also at the end of the presentation. So guys, in Scrum, first of all, the major change is that you will be surprised to see that, I don't know you guys will be liking or not, that in daily Scrum, no more 3 questions. You must be hearing about it. Okay, what exactly you did in last 24 hours? What is the plan for today? And what exactly you are going to do in next 24 hours? These questions now you don't need to ask. You don't need to give the answer for these questions. This is the one of the first changes that we have seen. And now team has to decide that what is the most valuable thing that we can do today to achieve the sprint goal. So sprint goal, a developer team, that they have to define that, okay, yeah, what exactly they have to collab together, they have to discuss, and then they have to define what is the important thing for the sprint goal. So that is the first thing. Now 15 minutes of daily Scrum that will be there. And if the product owner or the Scrum master are actively working on the items of the sprint backlog that we have defined, they can also participate as a developer. So guys, the next change, I'm going to tell you that, okay, why we are calling developers, because they have removed the term development team. Now everybody is called developers over here in this particular new guideline. So first of all, that 10% of the dev capacity will spend time on backlog earlier. This has been completely removed. You will not see any section with respect to backlog refinement that initially that, okay, 10% of the dev capacity has to spend. And then I personally spend a lot of time, entire day, 7-8 hours within a day, that back to back, twice or thrice in a week, that I have to spend for backlog grooming and backlog refinement and everything. This section is completely removed from the 2017 version. And now you just need to spend daily basis 20 minutes or 25 minutes, not the whole day, on the refinement. Just spend and then discuss with the dev team and developers, and then define your sprint planning and other backlog refinements. Another thing is that work estimation. So this is completely removed from the 2017 version. Now no estimate you have to give. And in fact, in Zira also, you don't need to provide the estimate. That earlier we used to give the estimate, okay, how much time it will take, how many story points and everything. I'm not sure how exactly we are going to implement that, but this is according to the conference and the documentation. Now we have the more liberty to decide that, okay, how much time it will take. You can decide accordingly, collab with the dev and QA and the PO, and then decide, okay, how much time I'm going to take it. But there is no calculation that, okay, yeah, how much time it will take, for no estimations like that. So this is from the conference. I got to know that it's completely removed over here. Now, the second major change is that there is only one Scrum team which is working towards the same product goal. Earlier, what was happening that okay, we have separate development team and then some team and then a couple of other teams, a Scrum to Scrum team also we were having in my previous company that I've already seen that. Now only, first of all, no more development team. Everybody is called a developers, one Scrum team, and you have one product goal over here. No more roles, no more hierarchies. That is that a very transparent thing that okay, they have defined in the guidelines. You must have one or multiple. Scrum master is we are going to talk about what is the role of a Scrum master now. And then we have only three amigos, or I would say three important people: product owners, dev team. Developers means the complete developers means you have QA team, then you have developers, and everybody they are called developers over there. And then we have multiple, maybe one or multiple Scrum master according to the project, according to the complexity of the project and the length of the project. We can do that. And then that's why the last point, if you see over here that the Scrum team becomes too large, then you can divide the team into multiple Scrum teams having one product owner and one product goal. So the all team are working together towards the one product goal. That is the second update from the 2019 guidelines. Also, sorry, 2020 guidelines. Third thing is that clear accountability for the Scrum Master. Very, very interesting point that actually I was discussing with Jasveer and my couple of folks. They are a very good friend of mine. They were always struggling from last 3-4 years, especially from last 2 years. And in fact, in last 1 year, in fact, in my company also, I've seen some changes that the accountability, the question was always raised that, okay, for the accountability of the Scrum Master, most of the people saying that, okay, yeah, what is the role of a Scrum Master? What exactly you people are doing it? So according to the guideline, the latest guideline, Scrum Master is having more and more responsibility and the accountability. You are responsible for establishing complete Scrum process over there as defined in the Scrum guideline. You have to train, you have to define the culture. You would not even talk to the developers over there and discuss with the PO. In fact, you have to discuss with the PO and then collaborate more and more with the dependencies. You have to adjust the dependency and solve the dependency between two teams over there, like that, for the integration of the product point of view. That is like a very well defined role of a Scrum Master has been defined over there. And it's a very good point. Personally, I believe that, okay, if you're adding this particular point, you can decide that, okay, yeah, what is the value of this Scrum Master in my team? According to the guideline, is it really helping me in my team to define the process, to define the Scrum framework or not? So I think Scrum team's effectiveness you can calculate in delivering the values according to the new role of a Scrum Master. That is the third important thing, okay, made in this new guideline. Now there's a new term got added, that is introduction of product goal. If you see that, okay, in the previous artifacts we were not having something like this product goal over here. Now the product owner needs to have a long-term product goal. That is personally I have faced in my previous companies. When I was in Walmart also, the product owner is not having the clear picture that, okay, what is going to happen after 3 months or 6 months with the product. In fact, in my previous company also, we had a couple of examples that we were not sure about it, that, okay, what will happen after 1 year and after 6 months, or where exactly do we have the enough backlog for 1 year, for next 6 months? Do we have the enough business for that, for this particular product? It was not much clear about that. Now the product owner needs to have the long-term product goal. You have to move away from the project mindset to the product mindset. That is very, very important. That's why, like most of the product owners, I have seen that, some of the product owners I have seen that, okay, they're still working as a project mindset. We have just to deliver, working on the typical waterfall model and something like this. So that mindset that they have to change and then move away from the project mindset to the product mindset. That's very important. And they're not sure of it. Whenever a developer or a QA and the dev team, they're asking, okay, what exactly we are going to design after 6 months? Are we getting the enough business or not for that particular product? Are we getting the enough requirement for that? So I think these things are very much clear. That's why this new product term, goal term got added over here. So future upcoming state of the product. That's why if you see the third point, and this will help a Scrum team to plan against your sprint goals. Okay, connect to the product goals. So this is the fourth change, guys, made in the new guideline. Fifth change is that a home for the sprint goals, definition of done, DOD, and the product goals. Earlier, The product goal recently added, but earlier sprint goals and definition of done was there, but it was not part of the artifact of the Scrum. Now it got added. That's why it is having not even the room, a complete home for the sprint goals and the DoD. Sprint goals are definition of the done, were not part of the Scrum artifacts earlier, as I told you. All three are now Scrum artifacts. Scrum goals is committed for your sprint backlog, definition of done committed for the increment, and they have emphasized definition of done in a very different way that, okay, without definition of done, your sprint goals are not completed. And the product goals committed for your product backlog. And then if product logs does not meet the DoD, read this line. If does not meet the DoD, and the quality or Scrum quality that is defined, or Scrum quality standards, it cannot be released, or it cannot be released for the sprint review. So DoD is a very important thing. If someone is asking you that sprint goals, DoD, and the product goals are the artifact of the Scrum, yes, the answer is yes for that. So this is the fifth change, guys. Let's proceed further. Scrum team is more empowered to be self-managed. That is like a very enhanced thing that, okay, they have done in 2017. If you see that, if you read it over here, that self-organizing team in 2017, they have changed this term to self-managing team. Now you have to take a decision that, okay, who does that, how exactly I'm going to do that, when exactly I'm going to do that, and then we are not being managed by the managers like that. So Scrum team having more power and more authority over here. We don't need to take a decision. I mean, we don't need to take a wait for the decision done by the superior power. This is your team, this is your product, you are the responsible for that. You decide what exactly we have to do, how exactly we are going to do that, and when exactly we are going to deliver these milestone of the product. And we are not being managed by the managers. That's why there is no hierarchy system over here, no as such complex, senior QA, SDED, senior SDED, like that as such. According to the guideline, it's not there. That's why we say that they've introduced a new term over here. Sorry, there's a spelling mistake over here. It's a self-managing team, right? So the complete Scrum team is responsible for all the product related activities, like we have collaboration with the stakeholders, verification, QA, development, maintenance, any research and development activities that you want to do, that it is the responsible for the Scrum team over there. That's a very good point, actually. I'm really happy to see this, where you can see some value for the QA now. And you people will definitely listen to you that what exactly you think for the QA point of view and the product point of view. 7th point, the sprint goal is why of the sprint. If you remember that, okay, hey, in 2017 version, what exactly we used to do that in Jira dashboard, once the sprint planning is done, we used to tell that, okay, hey, what exactly we are going to do that. We have to give a term over here. Let's see, a deliver registration process, or deliver this particular product, or deliver this particular feature over here. So we used to write the feature name, but they have slightly changed that. What exactly the sprint goal? Why of the sprint? What is the why we are doing this? What is the current value? And I would say, why is this current sprint is valuable? Ask why. Okay. For example, let's see, get our customer back. That is the goal for the next 15 days of the sprint. That is the goal for my sprint. Let's see, for example, other example, that whatever it came into my mind, that get more traffic on my website, on my blogs. That is the ultimate goal for this particular sprint. Get more customer registrations during the Thanksgiving day. Improve the customer service and provide more and more feedback. Like that, let's see, in mobility services, in this pandemic situation, get more and more car rental services. Like that, get more and more product on the e-commerce website, like Amazon and Walmart and the Flipkart, like that. So you need to ask why we are doing this particular sprint, and then what is the current ultimate goal for that, why this sprint is valuable, okay, for the team or for the product. So this is a 7th change that I noted down. Next thing is that a product explanation, a very nice thing that, okay, I was also always confused earlier, that most of the people having this mindset that, okay, product, we are talking about a Scrum product. First of all, that some people say that, okay, Scrum is a methodology, it's a process, it's a framework, and it's only applicable for IT and software. No, it's not like that. You can apply a Scrum for any kind of business, for any kind of industry, for any kind of a company, or for any kind of product that you are going to develop for that. So product is a vehicle to deliver the values, and it's beyond IT and software, guys. So right, so product is all about having, you should have your known stakeholders. Again, sorry for that spelling mistake. A product could be a service, a physical product, must have well defined customers and users. So these are the 4 points I took it. And then about the product explanation. So guys, Scrum is not only for IT industry and the software. It can be applied for, let's say, for coffee shop, for CCD, and for any kind of product, for any manufacturing industry, or for any kind of company. You can apply to deliver the right product with this particular framework. Next thing is that overall simplification of language for a wider audience. So overall, they have simplified the language. That's why, like, it's always a discussion, always a debate that, okay, no, how did you say that it's not defined in the guideline? No, you are doing it wrong. I have personally seen those Scrum Masters and those Scrum certified people, because they are very particular about the language, particular about the words, what exactly kind of word that you are using it. So that's why they have removed those unnecessary, complex guidelines and the complex term, uh, like on eliminating redundant and complex statement and removing any remaining reference to the IT work. That's very, very important thing, guys. You need to understand that any something is inference to IT work or the software, they have removed that. It's that's why people say that, okay, think that having the mindset that, okay, no, Scrum is only for IT. It's not like that. For example, they have removed something like this: testing, system, design, requirement, something. These terms, they have removed it. Now the Scrum guide is now less than around 13 pages, only 12 and a half and 13 pages only. I'll show you. Okay, over here. Next point. Increment releases are no longer prerogative of the product owner. Okay, so prerogative of the product owner. Earlier, what product owner is having the authority that, okay, no, you have to give me the demo and the sprint review, and everything will has to be happened, and then only we can deliver to the product. To the customer, and deliver to the production. Then only we can increment, we can release this particular increment, in the market and to the customer or to the stakeholders back. So, but now the product owner is not the only person to take a decision. A sprint review should never be considered a gate to releasing value. In fact, once your task is done, before a sprint review also, you can deliver the product according to the guideline. If a product backlog does not meet the DOD, see, it's clearly written over here. The DOD is the most important thing. The definition of done. Let's see, for example, the definition of done should be that backend APIs should work. Let's see, in terms of IT and software, all the rollback access frameworks is designed. All the database queries are released. All the test cases are getting passed. All the automation is returned for that. And now this is called definition of done. So once these four or five DOD points that you have written are satisfied, then only you can release that. Okay, and if it is not according to the Scrum standard quality, it cannot be released or presented for the sprint review also. So that is very good point, that earlier product owner has to take a decision immediately. I have seen personally in my previous companies that without definition of done also, once product owner says that, okay, it's good, according to me it's good, let's release that. So I think that should not be done according to the guidelines. See, guys, one thing I'll tell you. First point, I told you that 3 questions, like what exactly you did in last 24 hours, next 24 hours, what is the plan for today? Nobody is stopping you to do that. These are just the guidelines, and it's totally up to you. You really want to follow the guidelines or not. But if you say that, okay, no, we are following the Scrum and you're not following the guidelines. In fact, one point is also missing. It means you are not following the Scrum over there according to the guideline. So nobody is actually pointing you that, okay, why you are not doing that. If you're happy without Scrum also, or your customized Scrum, whatever you are using it, that is again up to you, right? But according to the guideline, this is the guideline that we have defined. This is the standard guidelines already defined by these people, and they have already presented in this particular version. Okay. The last thing is that the done, that we have already discussed about it, that should meet the DOD, and then your increment is born. It means, see, guys, whenever we are talking about the increment means that, okay, yeah, in the first sprint only five things I'm going to take it, in the next sprint 10 things, 15 things, like that. So it's an incremental process that we have to follow. And then once the definition of done, it means your increment is done over here, like that. Sprint backlog, your DoD meets with your Scrum team's quality standards, and then your increment will be released accordingly. So this is the 11th point that we have discussed. Now, if you see this, I got this particular poster from Jerry Yang and one of the Scrum Alliance website on Google, and I really liked it. I thought of sharing with you guys. I shared on my Facebook page also today that a Scrum value, if you see in the left hand side, that courage, focus, commitment, respect, and the openness. And if you see the process over here, that this is the product owner refinement, product backlog. You have to do the refinement, not daily basis for 8 hours or 7 hours. Spend incremental order 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like that, daily basis with your developers, like that. And then you define your sprint backlogs over here and do sprint planning. And then in the sprint planning, what to do, what exactly in the progress, and then done. This is your complete, a typical Jira a dashboard over here. This is your sprint goal. You put it over there on your poster, on your Jira dashboard. And then this is the definition of done, which is defined over here. I hope you can see that. And then all these people, they will discuss what exactly we have done, what is the progress, and ultimate goal is your sprint goal, why we are doing it. And we have to consider in the mind that this is the ultimate product goal that we have to achieve. Then we have to do some sprint reviews. Then we have to keep doing the incremental over here, keep releasing the small chunks over there. And then again, we have to do the sprint retrospective over there. What went well, what went wrong, like that. Retrospectives are always welcome. So these things are still there, but they have refined in a more better way, like that. And then again, back to the sprint backlog for the next sprint, do the planning, and this cycle will go on, like that. And a Scrum team, as I told you, that they have removed this development team term. Now in Scrum team, you see that product owner, Scrum master, and these are the developers. So developers, don't think that, okay, the typical coder or programmer. QA also now the developer. Your SDET team, your automation engineers, your backend guy, your UI guy, everybody will be called as a developer over here. Then if you see this empiricism over here, that transparency, the inspection, and then you have to adaptation. So these three things are in the form of a Scrum framework, empiricism, they have defined over there. So I really like this particular poster. I thought of giving you some insight about it. Be open, be courage, be focused, be committed and about your product goals, and then respect each other. That is the ultimate goal of Scrum. There is no difference between dev and QA, no hierarchy, no unnecessary levels in the team that, okay, no, you are reporting to me, I'm reporting to my manager, no politics. Respect each other, respect others' opinion, take their opinions, and develop a nice product over there and deliver to the customer. That is the ultimate goal of a Scrum framework. So these are the references that I have taken. This is the Scrum comparison that I can show you if you want. And line by line, they have exactly done the comparison between 17 and 2020. And some of the really good references, I took it from here, and then you can see it accordingly. So that's all for this particular presentation, guys. I hope you liked it. And one more thing I'll show you that, not here. Yeah, Scrum guide comparison over here. If you see this is another poster on, I got it on this particular website, and you just scroll down, and I hope that you can see it over here. See this. The left-hand side is the 2017 version, and the right-hand side is the 2020 version, and then they have given what exactly happened, and then what the different new changes are there. You can see that. You can go line by line. I'm not going to go for it line by line, but you can see it over here, major changes that they have shrunk a lot of things, and unnecessary complex terms and guidelines they have completely removed over there. And clearly written Scrum is simple, try it, determine its philosophy, and then start using it. You can see that, okay, against these lines, they have completely removed all these lines. And if you see the complete pages over here, this is page number 4, page number still 4, and you just keep scrolling down. They have given the description about each and every the role in the Scrum, that, okay, what is the role of product owner, what is the role of developers, like that. See, If you see this, developers are the people in the Scrum team that are committed to creating any aspect of usable increment each sprint. It's right. So that's why they have removed the development team over here. See, earlier they used to use this the development team. Now they called developers, right? That's why you can see the highlighted changes over here, the development team to developers over here, like that. And then you can see the Scrum Master is changed to Scrum Master. It's not the Scrum Master. It's a Scrum Master is more accountable for established Scrum as defined in the Scrum Guide. They do this by helping everyone to understand Scrum theory and practice both within the Scrum team and within the organization. That is more, I would say, the responsibility they have given to the Scrum Masters, where they have to teach, they have to train, and they have to establish a proper Scrum guide, proper Scrum theory and the practices that they have to apply over there. Okay, then you can keep scrolling down. This is about the Scrum Master coaching guidelines. A lot of things they have introduced. You can Scrum events are there. So earlier you can see that okay, there were so many events description they have written. Now they have they have written about the some events. Also minimize the need for the meeting not defined in Scrum unnecessary. Earlier we used to have unnecessary meetings back to back, and then a lot of things were happening. I mean, all the day we were spending in the meetings only, and we are not achieving the product goal. I think that's a very good change. Personally, I'm liking it. Okay, and then during the sprint they have no changes are made that would endanger the sprint goal. The product backlog is refined as needed, like that. And then so you can just go through this particular documentation, guys, and sprint planning also they have given over here what are different things that you have to do, and then you can see that. So I just scroll down completely and I'll show you how many pages are there. Actually, this is page number 11, and I think it's almost done at page number 13, acknowledgement, and that's it. After that, nothing. And you can see in 2017 version 19 pages were there. Now we have only page 13. So these are the changes, guys, and that's what I really wanted to show you what exactly we are doing in terms of the sprint and everything. Let me stop the screen sharing. I hope that you got the idea what exactly new things, new guidelines are defined, and I'm pretty much sure it will help you a lot to understand the Scrum framework and in a better way. So I'll share all these links in the description of this particular video. Please go through it and let me know if you have any issues, and please add in the comment section that if you want to add more and some more important points. Maybe I got, because it's a 13-page documentation, I could not read each and everything, but if you really want to highlight a couple of things, definitely you can show it over there. And please try to understand. It will help you a lot at the time of interviews as well, and to understand the product well, mingle with the team over there. And these days most of the companies, they are moving from the typical agile to typical waterfall to agile, and where they're using Kanban, they're using Scrum over there. A lot of people having the misconception about that agile means only Scrum and Scrum means only agile. And I mean, when we take interviews, when we discuss that time, people are totally confused, and they just talk randomly, okay, things about all these processes and the frameworks. So thank you so much, guys. I really don't want to take any other questions now. So till then, take care. I hope you liked it, and then please share this particular video with others, and so that other people also will get the benefit about the Scrum. And I'll share this particular PPT that is prepared by me, and then I'll share the link. You can download, and then you can check it accordingly. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for watching, and thanks for coming live today. Take care, guys. Bye bye.